it's me again. Hello, my name's Penny, and this is Penelope's Chinwag. I've just popped on. I was going to, for the last few weeks, I've been taking what's on my crafting table and then going bonk, you know, whenever 10 days later or whatever it is, and showing you how far I've got. So I thought, well, I better just do and see what's on the crafting table and film it. And then I thought, I can't just do that. I've got to say hello to you. I mean, I'm not going to start there because otherwise I'll be in floods of tears, and there's no two ways about it. Happy tears. I mean, your comments. Anyway, let's just stick with the table and I'll do one thing at a time. I've got quite a few things to say to you, and yeah, it's World Thank You Day. That's tomorrow, Sunday. Today's Saturday afternoon. So this will either go up in the morning, which will be World Thank You Day, or you'll get it later on, because once I've recorded something, I find it quite hard to keep. I just want to press public or delete. That's it. I don't often press delete, but sometimes I do. Anyway, I'm at the crafting table, and that's where I'm going to start. So, as you know, and I've got a lot of new subscribers, so you don't really know me, you don't know what my channel's all about, but please look on the playlist and then you'll see that there's lots of different parts to it, and it's not just about crafting, it's about having a chat about what's going on, about nature. Oh, anyway, you have a look back if you so wish. If not, welcome aboard. I've been doing my diary, just a weekly diary. You know, this is what I do. So I write my little week up, and I do on the front in fabric, and I'm 2 weeks behind. 2 weeks behind, oh my goodness. So that is on my crafting table. I tried to get the camera to angle down, you know, like I've been doing it so you could see, but I couldn't get it right. So I've just got to talk to you about it. So that's the first thing I need to do. Second thing, all right, with your help, guys, let's put that down there. With your help is my Forest Light by Jen Steingass, and I'm going to do sleeves. I'm going to do sleeves, but people did say, some of you darling people did say, you agreed with me, it did look nice without the sleeves. So, you know, who knows, I might knit another one, maybe in brighter spring colours without the sleeves. But I think this is, let's see what this looks like. And my friend, she did say, Pen, you keep stroking it, but quite honestly, that you can't help but do that, because it's this beautiful alpaca, and it's lovely. So I'm going to start knitting the sleeves. I had to give myself a couple of days break from it because, whew, yes, knitting that. So that's coming on. Here's the pattern with it. There it is. So I'm going to do the sleeve. End of. So that's there. I shall do it when I fancy it. And you know what? You know what I'm like. I always say, if I don't fancy doing it, it can sit there and wait. It's not going anywhere. There's no rush. If you were sitting here, oh, I must remember that one. Well, I won't remember it. I'll say it now. One of you darling viewers, and you know who you are, said, if there was a house going next door, would I let her know because she'd love to be my neighbour? I bet you would, and I'd love you to be my neighbour. We'd pop in and out, and we'd be doing our knitting, and we'd be chatting away, chinwag. Oh, I have to take a breath. So I've got my quilting stuff here, my birds and my quilt. I've only got a quarter left to do. Yeah, 3/4 of it's done. Here it is. And I had a viewer ask, did I have a template? And do you know what? I did. I found it in my stash. Here it is. It came in a big packet of stuff. Quite a big packet of stuff. All different. I've got leaves. I've got flowers. You could make a whole picture if you laid it all down together. And that was the idea. Oh, look, as part of another flower. And then this is all in my little box. part of another flower. Oh, here we go. And here's a bird. And I just drew round them. So, yeah, it's not difficult, but I must say, when you've got some templates, it does spur you on to do that. So, I've done some leaves, oak leaves, flowers, and birds. And that side's done. That is done. So all I've got left to do is that bit there. No, it's not much. So when I'm in the mood, that's the secret, girls. When you're in the mood, it'll just go. You'll have done it. But if you're not in the mood, you make mistakes and it drags. Okay. I've also got my Bunny Wishes sock by Sarah Kelly. And as you know, I've done one and a big success it was. And so I need to do the other one. So that's there to do. Right. When I first started quilting, I went and I went to the local, evening classes, except they were in the morning, and local authority ones. And I had the best teacher in the world. She taught it was just the best teacher in the world. And one of the first things we made before we made a quilt was this. And it is, well, I mean, is it 30 years old now? Because that's how long I've been doing it. And you bind it as a quilt. There's no putting tassely bits on the end of the zip. And out of all the bags that I've ever made, this is my favourite. It opens up so beautifully. And you make it flat and assemble it. And Francis sent off for this fabric. And I suddenly came up with the idea, this is what I'm going to make because I love it. It holds what I need. It stands up. Let me show you, it's standing up. Oh, look, it just stands up. And when it's open, it stands up too. It's super. So I thought, why don't I do a tutorial? Well, they're not really tutorials, are they? How I make it with this, if you'd like it. So, yes, yeah, that's to do. Obviously, that's going to take me a while because I have to get all the filming, get it all sorted. But, you don't mind if it's not perfect, do you? Because I've done the quilts and the macaron. I think I did something else as well. But anyway, I thought I would do that with you. So that's on my desk to do, on my table. And you see, what do I fancy doing? A viewer did ask, what is the shawl that you've got on? Well, this isn't the shawl I've got on. This is another scarf. And do you know what? I'm going to put a bit of film up after this. And it's... Wait, I did write it down. I'll tell you when I put it up. December 21, anyway. And I've got the same clothes on. We've just been out for a walk and it's very dull, very blowy. But just when we went out for our walk, the sun came out and it was lovely. Anyway, edit. Sunset Sky Shawl. That's what I was asked. Helen Stewart. People that have watched me know how many I've made of these for my family. How many? I've lost count. So if you want to look back and just look on the playlist, Penelope's Chinwag, you'll see shawls and this and that, and I've shown you. So yeah, so that's that. But of course, Frances left me her ball of wool, didn't she? And so I'm knitting it. That's what I want to do. I've got all this and I want to do this. End of. So I did that last night. It's all going to be the same colour. I think that's how she feels it will suit her. So that's my crafting table. This morning I woke up and I was just doing a bit of reading, some quiet study reading, you know, and I came across the word serene, and I thought, that's a lovely word. Even saying it, serene. I loved it. I had to look it up. You know what I'm like with words? It said similar words are calm and peaceful. Yeah, serene, calm and peaceful. I like serene better. And they said serene is a little bit different because you could say it's calm. The streets are calm after the riot. You wouldn't really say the streets are serene after the riot. No, they're calm. You could say, oh, it's peaceful after the storm. Oh, darling Tommy and all the family that side, they all went to Disney. Is it Disney World Paris? And my granddaughter Lois drove in her car. And, you know, obviously my son-in-law drove in his and all of that. They met there. And she did so well. And Tommy so enjoyed himself. I can't tell you, I've got little videos.
So if Harry and Liz were here, this would be the place to go off.
My daughter said they left the hotel at 10 to 8 every morning. They got back at midnight, and Tommy completely and utterly enjoyed every single moment of the days, Monday to Friday, I think it was. And he was just an angel. He was like having an 8-year-old. That's all they said. He ate everything because he's fluent in his speech now. So he just said, I want to go on that ride. I'm going on that ride. And he just had the time of his life. But unfortunately, on the way back, I came back, you know, because we got the ferry that goes from Calais to Dover, and it was rough. And poor Lois has been quite poorly since. Oh, I'm not laughing, Lois, but oh, she was very, very poorly. You know, some people can, some people can't. And it looks like she can't. So she said she's never doing that again. She's going to go Eurostar. Anyway, chat. So let's get back to serene, you see. You know, serene's different to calm, isn't it? Peace. Often it can mean the quiet after the storm. It's not serene after the storm, it's peaceful. So I found a quote. Serenity is not freedom from the storm, but peace within the storm. And that comes from within us, doesn't it? How do you find your serenity? I know how I find mine. And sometimes I forget. And I need to tap back in again. Yeah. And it reminded me as I was looking at this of Stanley Unwin. If you're English, you're in my age, you'll remember Stanley Unwin. We used to listen on the radio to him. And instead of saying once upon a time, he'd say once upon a Tito. And he just talked in this weird way, absolutely weird way, but it came naturally to him. And one of the things he used to say was, oh, deep joy. And as I was looking up serenity, I thought of deep joy. It's about, you know, things that became chaotic around us, but being able to find this serenity within us and finding this deep joy. And sometimes, quite honestly, we pop down the odd rabbit hole, don't we? And we lose sight of serenity and we lose sight of joy. And that's tough. And I think that's where we need each other. The one thing we tend to do then is to say, oh, I can't listen to that. I can't do that. Oh, no. And we withdraw, don't we? But actually what we need to do is engage even more, because friends, family, even acquaintances, it can help us. It really can. Anyway, that's how I started off my morning. And I then thought, well, if I'm down that rabbit hole, how do I get out? And nature for me does it. Yeah, being amongst creation, it is one of my, one of my top things. And looking at nature. And I know a lot of you have got this Merlin app. I've got it. And I love it. Pete and I have always been birders. We've got books upon books upon books of tick, 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 tick. We've seen that bird, we've seen that, but we remember where we've seen it. We remember what it looks like. But songs, no. We obviously know what a blackbird sounds like, what a wren sounds like. But all these other birds, they're tricky to remember, tricky to master. Anyway, having the Merlin, and I just stood, in Greenway, Agatha Christie's house, and I stood in the gardens, of the hotel where we love. And what came up was, I'm going to read it: firecrest, blackbird, blackcap, robin, greenfinch, wren, goldcrest, the smallest bird in the UK, a goldcrest. It weighs the same as a 20 pence piece, which I think is 5 grams, and it's 3 inches high. So diddy. But what a song. We heard it, thrush, wood pigeon, chaffinch, siskin. Beautiful bird, a siskin. Really lovely, so pretty. We've had them in our garden. Great tit, white wagtail, blue tit, tree creeper, nuthatch, mallard, great spotted woodpecker, coal tit, goldfinch, long-tailed tit. I was thrilled to, first one on that list was firecrest, similar to a goldcrest, but is a lot more fiery. I've seen him in Scotland. I think we might have had one in our garden once. But yeah, to be told that's what's singing to you, by the Merlin app. I do encourage you to get it if you haven't already. And if you can't get out, and if you can't hear the birds out there in the field, then you can just play the birds and you can listen to them. Yeah, Stanley Unwin said, deep joy. There's something in us that stirs, deep joy, melodious. That's what he said as well, I think. But what makes the birds sing? Of course, that's where my brain goes. One thing leads to another. And it's all about a syrinx. A bird sings to defend its territory or woo its mate. And for me, it sings because of I need deep joy. And this syrinx, it's got 2 parts to it. And so vocal gymnastics are possible. For example, the northern cardinal, I've never seen one of those, not here, is able to sweep through more notes than on a piano keyboard in just 1/10 of a second. I mean, how fantastic is that? And because each branch of the songbird's syrinx, there's 2 parts to it, is individually controlled, the cardinal can start at sweeping notes with one side of the syrinx and seamlessly switch to the other side without stopping for a breath, making them the envy of human vocalists everywhere. Well, Pete and I, particularly when we do our Desert Island discs. Some birds can rise their voice with one branch of the syrinx and fall their voice with the other simultaneously. That's it. That's summed that up. They start learning their songs while they're still in the nest, and they have to practice for a while. I never realised that. And some songbirds mimic car alarms or frogs or other things. So just as we have dialects, songbirds do too. They said in London that the blackbird might sing differently to, if you're up to north in Manchester or somewhere. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? They learn from the adults while they're in the nest, and then when they fledge, they have to keep practicing. And then they listen to others, and then they start including that in their dialect. So that's my little bit about birds, and it did bring me joy. Another thing, as I say, that's brought me joy are your comments. I mean, bowled over. And it's World Thank You Day tomorrow, or either today. And I just had to come on and say thank you. I'm going to answer you all. Of course I do. I always do. I get into conversation with you, don't I? But, oh, deep joy. So many heartfelt comments. You told me why you like Chinwag. You told me why I meant so much to you. And you mean so much to me. Of course you do. And then, darling Rona, she messaged me on episode 24. She said, it's 2 a.m. here. I'm in a campsite. My husband's snoring next to me. People are partying around me. And I'm watching the outtakes on episode 24. And they're so funny. So do you know what I thought? Yeah, Pete and I, we usually take a morning to do our Desert Island Discs, and I might start to include a few more outtakes because they're the funny bits, aren't they? And we all need a laugh. So the one I'm going to put up after this, I'm going to end with those outtakes, was the 18th of December 2021. Amazing. It really is amazing. And it was a joy to see Pete. Yeah. To see Pete how he was before his illness. Anyway, Jane, you wrote me a poem. Dear Penny, I hope you don't stop vlogging unless you need the space. Believe me when I tell you we'd miss your cheery face. Your makes are simply awesome, all made right from the heart. Your quilts are things of beauty and your knits are works of art. We've got to know both you and Pete and all your family too. Your vlogs would be so very missed, but you must do what's right for you. That's absolutely gorgeous, and honestly, it's just lovely. And I will do what's right for me. I used to put one up every Monday, then every Saturday, then every 2 weeks. And what was right for me was to put one up a couple of days ago and now put another one up. And I told you it'll probably be 3 weeks. So all you need to do with my vlogs is rest assured that if anything is not right here, I'll come on and let you know. And if you don't hear from me, it's because I'm busy or life's taken over or whatever. And if I don't worry about that, then I'm fine. I know I can do it when I'm ready, when I've got time, when things permit. And since Pete's illness, there's been things, hasn't there, like with all of your lives. There's times when, we've got quite a bit of time, and there's other times when, I don't know, it just seems different. Ravelry, I'm not on Ravelry. It's not something, I'm on Ravelry. I look at Ravelry, I look at all the patterns, I buy my patterns from Ravelry, but I don't really want to put what I'm knitting on there. Do you know what? I don't even keep a note of what I've got. What I know I've knitted, I've got in my wardrobe. And I've had them years, I did this years and years ago. It's pretty. I did a couple, my knits don't tend to wear out, as I've said before. What I need to put on my table soon is I've got some wool and I've got the pattern to knit each of my great-grandchildren. I've got 3, as you know, Mila, George and Tommy. Each of them something for the winter in an Aran wool. I bought it, but it hasn't got to my table yet. It's still in the packet, but it will. So I think that's it. So many rabbit holes out there, isn't there, if you know what I mean. So do keep watching. Let's encourage each other. Let's hope we can support each other. You support me, and I hope I do you too. And what we want is that serenity that I talked about. Yeah, it's different to peace. It's different to calm. It comes from within. It's something we've got. And sometimes we lose sight of it. And we need laughter, don't we? So I'm going to leave you on a funny note again. Oh yes, by the way, I told you that, didn't I? I told you I'm going to knit the sleeves on my jumper. Because, yeah, I can knit, I said that. I can knit it again in summery colours without sleeves if I want to. Oh, here's Pete. Yes? Have I got a minute? I'll come back and read the poem. Funnily enough, it's just saying what veg do I want. Yes, we've got cabbage, courgettes, carrots, peas, and something else. I know there's something. Oh, new potatoes. Yeah. He's having chicken Kiev. I'm just having the veg. So that's good. I'm going to read you the poem now. It's called The New Carpet. If you're an old viewer, not an old viewer, if you're a regular viewer, you'll have heard it way back. I mean, can you remember things from years ago? I can't. Well, maybe I can. Anyway, I'm talking waffle. Edit. You might have heard this before, but if you're new here, and a lot of you are, and thank you so much, you won't have done. The New Carpet. I'm working in a carpet shop up at the retail park. I'm there from 9 each morning until it's nearly dark. The shop just isn't busy. The phone won't even ring, but a man came past the other day and I thought my luck was in. New carpet, please, his voice called out. Mine's old. I need a change. My wife has sent me up here for a look at your new range. How lovely, sir. Please let me help. Now, would you like to sit? We'll deliver it, then lay it, and guarantee a perfect fit. Can I interest you in a wool-based one, a long or shorter pile? We've lots for you to choose from, so you could be here a while. Now, wear and tear's important. Do you have a family? Yes, there's me, the wife, Mum and Dad, and the kids make 23. And we're also fond of animals. In our house there's quite a few. Please tell me more, I smiled at him. I love all creatures too. Well, we used to have a cobra, but it slithered, hissed and spat. So the zoo lent us their mongoose, and that put an end to that. The geese are happy in the bath, the swans they sometimes fight, but the basin's now unoccupied since the pelicans took flight. We have a pair of badgers, but they really made us fume. They had a load of cubs this year and ransacked our bedroom. They nested in the wardrobe. All day they lie and snooze, but they nearly have a handoff when we reach in for our shoes. The Tesco home delivery man, he won't come anymore. Our pack of wolves surrounded him when he knocked upon the door. He beat them back with French baguettes. It really took its toll, until he managed to distract them with a jumbo sausage roll. We had a spot of bother with the hamster and a cable, and I wouldn't like to tell you what the horse left on our table. The grass snake took a liking to our fraying kettle flecks. Mum and Dad tripped on the tortoise twice and nearly broke their necks. The man next door was livid and he hammered on our wall. He'd found our missing scorpion while walking barefoot in his hall. There was no need for such language. Its sting would only ache. We thought the meerkat ate it. It was a genuine mistake. The cow's just had another calf. There's buckets full of milk. And we've all got new pyjamas as the worms made loads of silk. The sawdust in the box room is getting really deep. It's halfway up the donkey. You can hardly see the sheep. But maybe I've been hasty. Our carpets aren't that bad. They might just need a hoover. They're not the worst we've had. A little spray of vanish and they'll look okay for now. I think instead I'll put this cash towards a Highland cow. My head, it fell upon the desk. My shoulders drooped so low. My body language told him it was time for him to go. I'm puzzled. Can I ask you, sir, and please I beg your pardon, But why keep them inside your house and not outside in the garden? He set off with a puzzled look and walked past the bargain mats. But no one has a garden living in the high-rise flats. I called out, maybe vinyl, it's much easier to mop. We'll throw in some Zaflora. But he'd already left the shop. I could read that over and over again. I love it. I mean, so wonderful, so wonderful. So thank you, Heather, again, Heather G. Absolutely lovely. Ended this little vlog again. And yeah, all really I wanted to say, but it's taken me quite a while, is just the biggest thank you for all your wonderful comments. They mean so much to me. And yeah, they'll keep me going. So I'll see you soon. Watch out for me. Take care. Bye-bye. And so you knew, age 13.
Well, probably a bit older than that.
Bit older.
Yeah, but
That's what we worked out.
yeah, roughly about there. Yeah. I wanted to be a cook.
So you
chef.
knew quite young that you wanted to be
Chef.
a chef.
Yeah.
Fancy
try
doing that.
Yeah.
And so this was 1958 you're talking about.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yes, it is. And you.
Well, well, the first year was a bit of a laugh. We just had a laugh the first year because we found out the 150, you could still take the 151 if you failed the 150, and the 151 was but it included like it's 150 as well, but you didn't have to take the 150 again. If you got the 151, that's it. You had the 151, and which is the most important one. So we all mucked about first. And
we've done a little chat about Daredevil Les.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we'll tell you a bit more about his Isle of Wight capers next time.
Yeah. I think there was something we wanted to talk about Hendon as well.
So you're going to say goodbye? Oh.
The other thing was, it was smoking. Oh, yes, the other thing was, farthings were still in existence.
Yeah.
When I first went, but they were being taken out. They were going to be
obsolete.
They 4 farthings to a penny.
Yeah.
And we went into the accounts class, and the first thing the nice little woman she was taking the accounts. First thing she said was, "Well, we've got our books show farthings, but we won't be mucking about with farthings anymore." She said they're going to be obsolete in a couple of months, so we can forget all that. Oh, and then again, back at Mount Grace, we had to do everything, adding up 3 farthings and percentages and all farthing. Oh, crumbs, And now they're no longer legal tender, and yeah, that was out the window. So there was a couple of things which was completely different.
Yeah. What was good? Yeah, and I look back at those reports, and there was quite a lot of good work.
Sorry, I need to disturb you. Now, what did you want for?
I've got to start again now.
No, you haven't. Well, surely you can just carry on. You said if I didn't have my dressing gown.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
I know we said Swede and something else. 2 things. What was it? Peas.
Swede and peas.
Swede, peas, and
you said courgettes.
Or I've got broccoli. I could put some cheese on the broccoli.
Lovely. Do that then.
Okay.
Thank you, darling.
Broccoli and...
Oh, you see, I'll have to cut that bit out, won't I? You can see. Anyway, I notice it's still running. I thought I'd stopped it. Well, maybe I have. I'll have to see it at the end. I'll have to see what happens. So now I've lost my train of thought. But, he's cooking me lunch, so I can't really moan, can I? But I did say, please don't come in. There we are. So when we talk about strokes,